Hello there, Shadow Helmet Guy here, and today we need to talk about the Fallout TV series because I have some serious problems with it that I just can't keep it to myself anymore. I really dislike the show. I just don't get it. I don't understand why it's popular, and I'm not a fan of any of these characters. Funny enough, I'm a complete casual when it comes to this franchise. At the time, I had no idea about Fallout going in. So I was watching this with fresh new eyes and had no knowledge of the lore whatsoever. And I still don't get it. It's a bad show. Sure, the visuals and costumes look decent enough, but everything else feels like a mess. And the thing is, I'm not even a passionate fan of the franchise, so I can't even chalk it up to bias. I'm genuinely looking at this objectively. I just find it insulting to watch because of how unbelievably dumb everyone else in this world seems to be. My standards aren't even that high and it still doesn't hold up. Now, I did a bit of research into the Fallout games, starting with 1 and 2, and they're completely different from the one we got in the show. The original games had a much darker atmosphere and tone, and the world feels genuinely dangerous and unhinged in the best way. It's all about choices and the paths you can take, and the protagonist, depending on which canon route you follow, actually comes across as competent and intelligent. The story isn't just filled with evil people and incompetence. It's a mixture of complicated layered factors that feeds into the world in interesting ways. In terms of the enemies, the games did a great job of conveying how dangerous they are if you're not prepared to face them. And for the mutated creatures you come across, like ghouls or super mutants, they look absolutely horrifying. And honestly, that's the thing that surprised me. Why didn't he just adapt the story from the first game and bring it to live action? It feels like an obvious move. But I guess they're drawing from the more modern entries. Fallout 3, Fallout 4, and maybe some of New Vegas and Fallout 76. And I did notice some elements pulled out from both Fallout 3 and Fallout 4. And by the way, spoilers ahead from both games and the show. Fallout 3 has you searching for your missing father, while Fallout 4 flips it, where you're searching for your missing son, only to discover he's grown up to become a leader of a morally questionable and widely feared organization. The show seems to be mixing two storylines together, which honestly feels like they're recycling plot points from their newer games rather than doing anything original. The other thing I notice is that the show is a lot more brighter visually, and the ghouls and mutants are far less horrifying than their older games counterparts. They're more human looking, maybe missing a limb or two, and I think it's a deliberate choice to make them more relatable and easier to sympathize with. You're supposed to see them as people and feel that connection. And for anything else, it feels like they're cherry picking elements from the newer games, which ends up overshadowing the original games entirely. And the originals have a lot of established lore and continuity that just gets thrown out the window. And this show gets so much praise and high scores across review sites. And honestly, it's got me thinking, because I've seen so many times with other game adaptations, they do their own thing, change core lore elements, make questionable casting choice, all because they think they could do a better job than the source material. And yet, these adaptations get torn apart. So why does Fallout get a free pass? I'm looking at things like Return to Silent Hill, Borderlands, Halo, The Last of Us 2, Assassin's Creed, Adaptations and game-related projects that took liberties on their source material and got absolutely hammered for it. Where were the defenders for those? Where was the grace? Not loud enough apparently. And Borderlands especially, that game is extremely similar to Fallout in terms of its atmosphere and world building. Where was the passion and support for that one? It just feels like a massive double standard, and I generally don't get it. Look, if they're gonna make Fallout as an original live action series, there are so many directions that they could have taken it to make it truly compelling. Take some of the atmosphere from Children of Men, that suffocating sense of danger and darkness. Borrow the isolation, survival and tension from I Am Legend. Pull from Mad Max 2 from the brutal lawless factions that every encounter could be a last. And take the horror tone and generally terrifying creatures from 28 Days Later. Any one of those elements could elevate this show into something special. The potential was absolutely there. They just didn't reach for it. But anyway, that's how I feel about this show. I might let other Helmet Guy do a more in-depth version of this video down the line. But overall, this is a genuine disappointment for me. Let me know what you guys think on the comment section below, and as always, thanks for watching.